Hey, it's the Empire, Geoboxing Empire, Bachelor Boxing. Now, man, you guys see the image, man. This is from Joyce's Twitter, man, and he's talking about him versus Joseph Parker. Now, man, this fight has been building up for a while now. Joseph Parker has been on a Euro tour. He's been fighting a lot of top domestic fighters over there in the UK, and this is a really big deal because Joseph Parker, his last big fight over there in the UK was Derek Chisora, right? That being said, Derek Chisora and Joseph Parker, that was a really good fight because Parker, the Parker didn't know what was coming. When you fight a top guy from the UK who has losses, it's a different kind of fighter than fighting an undefeated fighter because the undefeated fighter, at least when it comes to the Chisora, has a structure to him, right? Really technical, right? He's trying to set you up. But a fighter like Chisora, he was walking Joseph Parker down. It was no rules, walking to the UK type stuff, and the first punch that landed was an overhand right from Derek Chisora that dropped JP, that had him on the ground, and JP basically had to rally back in that fight. But Chisora was trying to knock out JP for sure. There was no filling him out. There was no setting traps. There was just, I'm gonna knock this guy out, and I'm gonna do whatever it takes. So that being said, man, Joseph Parker has been fighting top guys. That was one of more Joseph Parker's exciting fights. And, Joseph Parker is well versed over there in the UK, also by fighting a fighter like Dillian White. These fighters are really elite level fighters. People don't give them the credit they deserve. But in all these big fights, Joseph Parker was dropped. He was dropped in the Dillian White fight. He was dropped in the Chisora fight, right? And we're going to see what happens with Joyce. Now, Joyce is a lot slower than all those fighters. I think Derek Chisora is actually even quicker than Joyce. But Joyce is a bad one, man. He's really tall. He's really big. And he's going to present a lot of problems to Joseph Parker. That being said, man, my boy Joyce is coming off the biggest win of his career, beating Daniel Dubois, right? And it looks like the way they're moving Joyce is they're trying to make him fight all the top guys in the UK before he inevitably comes to America, right? His rival, former rival at least, Daniel Dubois, he already made his American debut, right? He beat an Italian fighter, and it was by first round knockout. It was a really spectacular knockout. But that being said, man, Joyce is 6'6", and Joseph Parker, he's only 6'4". Joyce has an 80.5-inch reach advantage. Joseph Parker only has a 76 reach advantage. So the height and the reach goes to Joyce. Also, Joyce, understand that the only thing Joseph Parker has in Joyce is the age. JP's still in his 20s. He's 29 years old. Joyce is 35. So that being said, man, there's gonna be a lot of advantages to the Joyce. The only thing is not being the age advantage, but that comes with advantages as well, because while JP may be younger than Joyce has experience. He's fought a lot of top guys, right? But he has a short career with only 12 wins, but he fought guys like Romain Stavern, right? Iago Kalatz, the guy who dropped F.A. Jabba, right? I mean, I can go on and on talking about his record. We already know he beat Alexander Usanov, Barrett Jennings, right? I already talked about Dubois. He knocked out Carlos Takam. Joyce has a deep resume, and he's one of the more he's actually really elite for a heavyweight fighter. He's fought just about everyone you could fight in the UK, and he brought some Americans over to the UK. So his record is deceiving because you'd expect that, while he's always fighting in the UK and everything, that he's only fighting UK opponents. But that's further from the truth. Romain Stavern, the guy, he's Canadian, but he fought him in Britain. So, I mean, it's crazy stuff, man. It's crazy stuff. So, I mean, yeah, my boy Joyce has fought in America a couple times. He was signed to the PBC at one point. So he did fight some top American fighters or people who have their base in America. Think like Adam Konaki, a heavyweight fighter. He's Polish, but he bases himself out of the East Coast area. There's a lot of that in boxing. People who they're foreign, but they fight in America so much that they basically are an American native, even if they don't even speak the language, because their fan base is based out of America. So that being said, man, America, what they call it, man. They call it the melting pot for a reason, because there's so many ethnic groups here from all around the world, European, African, Asian, and all of the above, that if you go to certain parts of the country, you'll find a dominant ethnic group over there. So, I'm really high on Joyce right now, man. And Daniel Dubois win was spectacular. Joyce really didn't show any chin problems in that fight. He was taking the shots, and he showed his composure. A lot of people break down in those kind of situations. Joyce did not break down, and he stuck to his basics, the jab and his movement, So that being said, we're going to see what Joseph Parker can do. The only way I see Joseph Parker winning this fight is if he tries to stop Joyce. He has to go for the KO. You can't make it look pretty. He actually has to go for the KO. Joyce is a Frank Warren fighter. So that being said, there's a lot of big money behind Joyce right now. This is their golden goose. Daniel Dubois has a long way to go to redeem his name, to, reestablish himself as that guy. He's gonna have to fight a lot of these top PBC fighters, really, because that's the American audience. If he wants to come to America, he's gonna have to fight the audience that has the most American audience. And Top Rank, while they have a handful of fighters like Tyson Fury or F.A. Jabba, Tyson Fury is gonna be held up with Deontay Wilder again, and F.A. Jabba. I doubt that Top Rank is gonna put him in with Joseph Parker so soon after signing him. So that being said, man, there's a lot of fighters that can be fighting Joe Joyce right now, right? The Robert Liniuses, the Adam Kanakis, Dominic Brazils. I can go on and on talking about these top fighters who would love to fight Joe Joyce. So that being said, man, this is a really big fight. I'll be really excited to see it. I wouldn't know who's gonna win this fight, man. I'd favor Joe Joyce just because of his chin. He has a solid chin, and he just fought so many elite level opponents. The experience, I would have to lean toward Joe Joyce, even though he's never been champion. Joseph Parker has been fighting a lot of top guys, but as of late, he's being hurt a lot. That's sort of, that's a red flag. He got hurt, like I said, dropped by Dillian White left hook. Even though he came back and dropped Dillian White, he still got dropped left hook. He got dropped by Derek Chisora, overhand right in round one. And can Joe Joyce hurt him too? We're going to see, man. We're going to see. Now, Joe Joyce is slow, so style-wise, it seems like a bad matchup, but Joseph Parker was in better shape when he was undefeated. Now that he took a L, he's not that same athlete he used to be. So we're going to see how this whole thing plays out, man. I mean, I lean toward Joe Joyce 55-45. So I got 55% Joe Joyce and then 45% JP. But Joseph Parker could definitely win a fight. He just has to basically do a Huey Fury on the Joe Joyce. Now it's ironic because Joe Joyce's biggest win is Daniel Dubois, and I thought Dubois was winning the fight until he got stopped. That being said, he's gonna have to replicate a Daniel Dubois type fight to win it. That means a really aggressive fight, letting his hands go. He just needs to get past Joe Joyce's jab, which Daniel Dubois cannot get past, and it's a slowly chipping away punch that ended up breaking Dubois. Right, broke his face, literally. They said he broke his eye socket. Now, is that true or not true? We don't know. But, we haven't seen Daniel Dubois really push till later parts of the rounds to see how that eye is still holding up. Now, that being said, we're going to see how this whole thing plays out, man. But this would be a really big fight. But let me know how you guys feel about it, though. Like, comment, subscribe. This is the Empire. Geobox Empire. Peace. Empire. Peace.